Hey guys, and welcome back to Kaisen. And today we are going to be going over another Jujutsu Kaisen battle scenario, with today's contenders being the great and powerful Mahoraga, the general whatever. I don't know his full name. It's too long and too difficult to remember to actually give a shit. But for now, we're going to be talking about just Mahoraga, not Megumi. For me, Mahoraga is an entirely different character. And the second person the person he's going to be going up against is one I've seen a lot of controversy on. Some say this, some say that, some are one way, some are Mahoraga, and it's Yuta. Now, Mahoraga versus the Yuta Okotsu, and Yuta Okotsu for me is a powerful character, really powerful. We haven't seen him get pushed to the edge yet, and we've seen Mahoraga face off against Sukuna, which is not a really good source of. Again, it's not a good. Using Sukuna as a benchmark for power scaling is not very good in the world of JJK, because people like Gojo and Sukuna, they're just too. They're not like the strongest, barely stronger than their peers. They're not the strongest by just being barely stronger. They are so strong that there is no good method of trying to like measure them, because like for example Jogo, you can't use Jogo to measure against someone up, but you can't use Sukuna to measure up against Jogo, even 15 fingers, because you like there's no real obviousness into how powerful Jogo is as a character compared to Sukuna. Like when you look at it, Jogo is up to like what 7 or 8 fingers, or is it 8 or 9 fingers? I can't remember. But he's not like, compared to Sukuna, 15 fingers Sukuna, he was getting wrecked, almost basically just as easily as Gojo was wrecking him, right? So there's no real way of showing how powerful he is compared to other characters. That's why I don't like it when I see all these comments about how powerful do you think Jogo is compared to how Jogo is weak and other stuff like that. Jogo's not weak. He's just fought the two strongest characters in the series and lost to both of them, and it seemed easy for them to fight him. Like, it seemed so easy for both Sukuna, 15 Fingers Sukuna, and Gojo to beat this dude's ass, and equal amounts of ease. Like, no, it didn't seem like there was any difficulty. But today we're not talking about Jogo and Sukuna and how strong he is. Maybe that's for a different video. Tell me if you guys want that. Today we are talking about Yuta Okotsu versus Mahoraga. And I see this as a couple of things. First of all, there needs to be a couple of things we need to get off our chest. How strong is Yuta without Rika involved? One. Two, how is Rika considered like a cursed spirit, or is she some sort of Shikigami? That's a second option. That's a second thing. And three, can Mahoraga actually, even like avoid Yuta's domain expansion? Like we know Yuta has a domain expansion, but we don't know what it is, and is it powerful? Is it like a copy technique? Can Mahoraga use like simple domain? I doubt he can, considering he fought Sukuna and didn't use a simple domain against him. Can Mahoraga adapt to like I don't know, to that blaster bolt that Yuta fired back then? I don't know. There are many questions to ask, but the main two questions are: one, is the Rika we see a Shikigami or a cursed spirit, and two, can Yuta, actually ever, you know, face off against Mahoraga? In all honesty, I don't really know. He could be like he might never face off against Mahoraga in the entire series, and this could be just a speculation. Personally, for me, I'm on the side. I am on the side of really just barely on the side of Mahoraga on this one. I'm sorry, but the thing is, can Mahoraga even like adapt to cursed speech? Can after hearing cursed speech the first time, can he adapt to it, and the second time around doesn't affect him? Right? I mean, outside of that blaster thing Yuta possesses, there's nothing we actually see Yuta use that's like extraordinary firepower, like overpoweredness. Like, we know he has Rika, right, which is a cursed spirit, and we know he has reverse curse technique, but right. So the fight's gonna go on for a while. It's not like Sukuna. Sukuna has heavy. Sukuna and Gojo. These two people have heavy hitters. They have powerful abilities that can do tons of damage on their own. Sukuna has a domain, a malevolent shrine domain expansion, which can basically use cleave and dismantle. He has a fire technique that I guess he sort of copied from Jogo. I guess I don't know. Um, he and with Gojo, he has reversal red. He's got blue, and he's got purple. At least those three, and he can fly. He can somewhat teleport. He's got a lot of things in his arsenal to give him that edge in a fight, right? And he could probably just doing the same thing Sukuna did could probably kill him. Maybe he throws a blue, so the Mahoraga can recover. Then he throws a purple. That's how I think he's gonna beat him. But for Yuta, we know he has cursed speech. We don't know if he has another ability. We do know he also has that cockroach thing and can, move the sky or whatever. But it's not. These aren't abilities I would say are broken as freak, right? They're not abilities that I would say are necessarily powerful. They're not. I mean, moving this cloud's powerful technique. I'm not gonna lie, but does it have any? Does it do any actual damage? The only one that actually does damage is the one we've seen with the blaster, with his love blaster, where he shoots a beam of energy or cursed energy at his opponents, like Ishiguro does. But outside of that, I don't see how he's winning. I really don't. I mean, he could technically. I mean, the win condition for Yuta would be maybe he has like this domain expansion he throws out could be like Sukuna's type of domain expansion, really powerful, really disgusting, really just overpowered in all senses of the word, right? And Rika maybe he has a special cursed tool within that pocket of dimension of Rika's that would give him access to overpowered abilities, overpowered techniques, right? Maybe they're cursed. Maybe some of these cursed weapons have cursed techniques that are very useful against Mahoraga. I don't know. Maybe there are. Maybe he has a cursed technique that we haven't seen yet. He's copied a cursed technique we haven't seen yet, and this cursed technique might be extremely powerful as well. We don't know. We do know he has reverse cursed technique, which I don't know how it does against Shikigami because we've never seen it up against Shikigami, right? We've never seen a reverse curse technique used on Shikigami. I would guess it is possible to use it on Shikigami, but I doubt it since there are many times in the story where there's a couple of times in the story where Sukuna has gone up against a being like Mahoraga, right? And where Sukuna went against cursed Shigami, like with Megumi in the very first part, he never used a reverse curse technique, probably because it doesn't work on Shikigami. And Mahoraga was also able to use a reverse curse technique. Basically, there's a whole knife on his hand that's made of positive energy. So technically speaking, it also doesn't make much sense to, ride him out in that regard. I think maybe reverse curse technique does not work on Shikigami. So now the question becomes: is Rika a Shikigami or a cursed spirit? Because that would affect the game a lot. Because if Yuta were to fight this guy and it's this cursed spirit, Mahoraga kills the cursed spirit Rika with maybe one attack, and Rika just turns into dust. And now Yuta's on his own and it's lost Rika probably completely. Or it's a Shikigami and Mahoraga has to face these guys on with just his raw physical power and speed and stuff like that, which I think he does have. I mean, Yuta is a one-man army and has like Rika on his side, giving him extra cursed energy and giving him all these extra cursed techniques, giving him all these weapons, and just even there, just being a second bodyguard and tank for Yuta in case, like, he's literally two people technically speaking, right? Yuta. Mahoraga is just one person, but he has the ability to adapt to any curse technique or any ability whatsoever. Now, I don't know how powerful of a move this is. I don't know how powerful of a curse technique it could be, but I do know. I don't know the limits, right? Because when we see Sukuna use the domain expansion and use the same cleave and dismantle techniques, the sure hit effect and sure kill effect was so great that Mahoraga could actually not adapt to it in the same manner. I mean, he survived it. He survived the domain expansion, right? Like, crazily survived the domain expansion, but didn't really do all too well against it, if that makes sense. he didn't stand up straight after that. He was on the floor, cuts everywhere, couldn't move, right? So technically speaking, I mean, again, it totally depends on what Yuta can bring to the table. Outside of that beam thing, which I think Mahoraga can really just block or dodge or something, right? Or maybe he get hits by it the first time because Maharaga's skin is extremely durable. I mean, we've seen Sukuna's thing, cleave and dismantle technique cut through a lot of things, but when it came to Maharaga's skin, it attacked the first time, but it didn't. It affected him, but it didn't go through him. It didn't kill him instantly. It was like his body's made of titanium or something. It couldn't break through, and that's what makes me believe that when it comes to actual curse techniques, his Maharaga's body could probably handle some devastating attacks. Maybe even that maximum technique Jogo threw at him, threw at Sukuna. I mean, it's easy to dodge, right? It's just to dodge or run away from the area, right? But I feel like Mahoraga will be able to handle that one pretty easily. Maybe he just tank it head on and just come out of it like nothing happened, right? We all know the Zoro thing, right? Honestly, as I said before, I probably give it to Mahoraga. I feel Mahoraga just has. I feel like when it comes down to physical speed and strength, I don't know who is the stronger or faster one in that regard, but I do feel like Mahoraga, at least if I'm going to put it in the percentage as I've always done in my videos, out of 100%, it's not gonna be an absolute wash. I think maybe Yuta beats him 45% of the time. I feel Yuta is fast and strong enough, and if Rika is a Shikigami, then it's also adds to the chance of him winning, if that makes sense. He gets a better chance of winning since Rika can be killed with positive energy. So yeah, all things considered, I don't really see Yuta really winning. I think it might even end a stalemate because really, when you look at it, there's no clear winner, if that makes sense. There's no defining 100% assured winner of the fight. There is no okay, he won, good, great, right? There is no 100% sure rate of winning. I just feel personally, I feel like Mahoraga just has. Yuta doesn't have enough to face off against Mahoraga, and Mahoraga doesn't have enough to actually kill Yuta besides his positive any blade. He's basically was made to kill curses, not people, and that's the problem. If he can't kill curses, I mean, considering he did face off against the Six Eyes and Domain and Six Eyes and Limitless user back in the past and killed him, very likely that we do see the same thing happen with Yuta. Maybe Mahoraga is just so physically powerful and strong that a user of the Six Eyes as well as Limitless is too much. Maybe if he faces off against that Limitless Six Eyes user, it also ends in a stalemate. And if it does end in a stalemate, if Yuta does face off against the Limitless Six Eyes user like Gojo, and it ends in a stalemate, that I would say, yeah, he wins. Mahoraga wins that because, well, Mahoraga did kill one of his kind before. So, but again, I don't know. I don't know how powerful Yuta is. I mean, granted, he has hit a ceiling now, because as Uro said, and I do agree with Uro when she did say that, because it seems like the best way to become stronger in JJK is to truly feel like you're the most powerful, truly feel like no one else matters, truly feel like only you matter. You need to be the pinnacle level of narcissistic that you can be. That's basically how to become stronger in JJK functions, right? That to become physically powerful, like pure peak physically powerful, you need to become more selfish, more narcissistic, it seems like, right? But you throw away your own mental health and become a crazy person, basically. But, I'm not going to talk too much on that. It's been 14 minutes. This is the longest video I've ever made on the topic. But honestly, tell me your guys' thoughts. Who's going to win between Mahoraga and Yuta, my boy Yuta, right? Who's going to beat the other? Who's going to cause some bad splinters, right? I mean, I want to hear from you guys. So, yeah, if you guys got any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment your answers down below. Feel free to tell me about it. Feel free to explain to me your thoughts and opinions. I want to hear from you guys why you think maybe Yuta could win, or why you can even add on top of my argument that Mahoraga would win. So, yeah, see you guys later.